you can't really see much. You can only see about 50 feet in front of you.
Did it go in?
A little bit. We have a 24 volt power system, so our starter battery is 24 volt. We got the lights installed. Now it's time to take them on the road and see how they actually function. I got my wrenches. I'm ready to get this bumper apart. I just dollied in this winch. I'm going to need a winch to lift the winch to put it in place, I think. It's very heavy.
Super heavy.
And hopefully these bolts come out easy. Everything has come off easy so far, so we will see. But these are pretty big.
Yeah, we have our come up 18,000 pound winch that we are going to be mounting on the front bumper. We also have all of our Triple R lights. They're one of our build series sponsors, and we are going to be mounting all of that external lighting. The Mog is going to be completely transformed on the outside after today's episode.
The lights alone are a huge upgrade, but then the winch is a huge recovery piece. So if you get stuck, you can get yourself out hopefully, or you can help others out. And we've never had a winch, so I've been looking forward to installing this, and I'm really excited to see how it works out. All right, last bolt here. We're gonna get this off of here. See if we can get that light out. These side two are really easy. A little trickier in here. Could definitely take this piece off and it'd be really easy, but I can get to them. But it's tough to move the wrench around in there. Can I get it by hand yet? Yeah, see, it's already loose because I...
Oh, I can see, okay.
Hold on. The last bolt here. Pull it out. See if it comes out. Is it going to come out? Or do I have to take that piece off? Take this guy out.
They fit. They fit in the already made compartment.
You gotta mount them differently, but yeah, they fit. Space is big enough.
Ooh, they look good.
It's gonna be sweet.
Wow, this is a huge upgrade.
Can't wait to see them lit up.
I'm gonna have to go for a night drive.
See if we got these lights hooked up correctly. Still tweaking it, but I think I got them working. I might have to change the configuration. I'm gonna start with the runners and then regular and then brights and see what we got. All right, here we go. Runners. We got regular. And then we got high beam. Does that make sense? I think the regular might be still too bright and we have to modify the light.
We have to take the magnet out of the regular one.
Yeah, because I don't know if it actually is any different. I remember talking to the guy at Triple R like a couple months ago about you just take a magnet off the back of this thing to make the lights road legal. I went digging around thinking I had to get inside of this case. So I popped off the one thing that looked like it pop off. That is the magnet, this tiny little thing. And the light goes about half once you take it off. I'll show you in a second. But it's just in there. You just pop it out with a screwdriver. And then as soon as I popped it out, I realized this is a magnet. Maybe that's it. Took it off of that one, fired up. Good to go. I'm going to show you that now. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so now we got road light, brights. It was easy. I thought it was gonna be more intense than that. I got the little magnet here. I'm gonna put it on and off to show you how it works. So right now it's off, and then when I put it on there, brights. And then when I take it off, regular. On, off. Pretty cool. That was pretty simple. Look in comparison to the old light.
Yeah, this is the new light, and this is the old headlight. Look at this little guy. He's trying his hardest. There's the comparison. Old headlight on the left, new ones on the right. Well, we have to do a little bit of editing to make both of the lights fit in this space. This little bracket right here, this bar that extends out, is how the housing for the previous headlights were mounted. There's one on each side, but this side, it's way farther back. On this one, it's inside of the whole headlight casing, so I think that we're gonna have to cut this out. We tried to bend it a little bit, and you just can't really get enough leverage on it to bend it worth anything. So it doesn't seem to be doing much else than holding the headlights, at least I hope it doesn't. The cab tilt bracket is up here. It's kind of attached to this whole piece, but this piece just hanging out on the end, I think we can remove it and be okay.
Go. That's what we needed. Looks pretty good.
Tried a few methods of mounting these in here. Finally, we just attached them together onto a flat bar, spaced them up enough, and bolted them right to the bar. I'm gonna weld that flat bar right into the bumper. You'll still be able to remove the lights because they're just bolted to the bar, but before we weld that flat bar in, we gotta line up the lights and make sure that they're pointing where they should be. We have a little bit of adjustment after they're in there. We can tilt them up and down and side to side, but we want them to be in alignment as much as possible before we start welding. Okay. Runners?
Yeah.
saw us install the Sentinel Elite 7-inch lights as our headlights. So we just wanted to pop in and give you a few specs because we are installing a lot of lights on this Unimog. They're from one of our build sponsors, Triple R Lights. And we have so many different kinds of lighting options. We have a pair of the Sentinel Elites for the headlights, and then the pair on the outside are our brights.
These are DOT SAE approved for road driving. In order to make these legal for road driving, you just have to remove this small magnet that is on the back of it, and that takes it from the super bright to a safe level.
The Elite option of these has a backlight in amber or white, so we decided to set one in white and one in amber. So when our running lights are on, that's when it's backlit and they have the two different colors. These are just such a huge upgrade from the stock Unimog headlights. We're going to show you later on in the episode what they look like when we're out driving on the road, but you'll have to wait just a little bit for that. Next, we will be installing these Utility 25s. These are going to be our camper body lights. So we're going to have 2 on the driver's side, 2 on the rear, and 2 on the passenger side of the camper. These are going to essentially act as our porch lights. So we'll pop these on when we're at camp and we want a little bit more light. When you're taking the dogs out in the middle of the night, it's just really helpful to have full area lights on the outside of your camper. When you're out in the desert, when you're out in the wilderness and you're wondering what the heck that noise was out there, you can pop all the lights on and you can see the whole camp.
Basically, we just took some of the tubing that we used for the solar rack and we've made some smaller mounts for these Utility 25 lights. These are the lights that will go around the perimeter of the box and just kind of light up camp when you're there if you need to see something in the dark. We have 2 on each side. So in the corners where there would have been 2 anyways, I was putting them up there and Savannah pointed out it looked kind of sloppy. So we went back and we made this welded piece so it wraps around the corner and it just looks a little more slick. And it should do the job just as well.
So on the corner piece, we already drilled the holes. A light will mount here, and then on the other side, the same thing, and it'll just look a little bit nicer on that corner rather than 2 single pieces stuck up there.
So now we're just going to go up on the ladder and we'll scuff the corners of the aluminum up there and then get these pieces on here before the adhesive sets. And then once that's done, we can go back and mount the lights in there later once it's set, and we'll wire them after that. Here you go. Let's see, it seems like it fits pretty good. We need some tape to hold that in place. I mean, it'll probably hold itself, but just to be safe. The adhesive is set, so we got our mounts here. They're super solid. I can't rip them off. Scuffing makes a big difference. It is so rock solid. When you do that, I can't pull that off. These little lights aren't going to rip it off. We're going to wire these in, and then we'll have some porch lights, basically. We're going to get this roughly in place where we want it, angled how we want it, and then we can adjust it some more, both twisting it, and then there's another screw and nut here so you can adjust the angle quite a bit. They're pretty much going to be pointed down. These are not spotter lights. These are just to have a little light at camp if you're going outside in the dark. I'm not sure if we'll even tip these up at all because we're really just trying to light the space down here. Maybe a slight bit, but we'll have to get them on in the dark before we know how much we want to adjust them. We also got these caps put on here. Let's see if they work. All these lights here are controlled inside the house on a panel switch in there. We debated whether we wanted to connect them on the roof and run one wire in, or run these wires in through one of these. We decided we would run each set through the gland and then connect these groups inside. It's more protected, and really I just have Wagos available and I don't have a bunch of heat shrink stuff on me, so I'm just using what I have. But all the connections will actually be made inside the box. These are all running off the house power as opposed to the vehicle power system, which like the headlights and the light bar, that kind of stuff, that's all on the vehicle and that's all controlled in the cab. These are lights for at camp really, so they're gonna be on a switch that's inside of our house. So I'm gonna bring them in the box, connect them to a wire there, and then we'll have porch lights. We're interrupting this episode briefly to tell you about a new Patreon exclusive video series that's going to follow this build.
Patreon is our subscription-only page, and for every episode of the build series, we'll be sitting down to watch and talk about all the different projects going on in the videos. So behind-the-scenes moments, more in-depth details. There's so much that goes into each one of these projects. There's no way that we could fit it all into one build episode. So that's why we're starting this commentary series, to give you a little bit more detail about what goes into each project. They can be completely submerged. Oh, right here.
Yeah.
1.5 meter submersion for 30 minutes because we may be driving this Unimog through pretty deep water, and the headlights that we took off of the Unimog were pressurized through the air system.
Yeah, we found that. It was pretty interesting as I'm taking it off, pulling it.
This is a Patreon exclusive, available to all of our Patreons, $5 and up. Patreon is a wonderful way to support your favorite creators.
So we'll see you over on Patreon. But now, back to the episode. The headlights are installed and we have the body lights on the camper, but before we do the big reveal on all those lights, we got to get this winch installed. That's going to take a Kevin power up for sure. We're going to need some help. We need to kind of design a mounting point and a plate for this to sit on. Let's go get this winch installed and then we'll do the big reveal. Cool thing about this is 24 volt winch. We have a 24 volt power system, so our starter battery is 24 volt. So we don't have to do any changeover or any external 12 volt battery. Just be able to wire in pretty directly. But yeah, 24 volt, 18,000 pound winch from Come Up. Whew, this thing's a beast.
Now that we have the headlights installed on the Mog, we are just dying to get it out on the road for a test. We really want to see what they look like, but also we want to make sure that they're positioned correctly. So we are going to go out and drive it. It's dark out now, so it's the perfect time, and we're going to take you with us.
Got the lights installed. Now it's time to take them on the road and see how they actually function. I know they're going to be a huge upgrade to the original lights. Those were pretty dim. The only thing is our bumper is really high, so we've tilted them down quite a bit to hopefully not blind people. But now we got to find out if we've tilted them too far or if they're just right. We got to get out of this area where there's light to really tell. It looks pretty good here, but we're going to find out in a minute. Let's go take this thing on a test ride. Too low. It's definitely dangerous for me. You only see like 50 feet in front of me. I don't know how bad it looks on camera, but they're pretty low. We want to bring them up at least a couple degrees. Our brights, on the other hand, are pretty much straight out. Yeah, we got to go back and adjust them. Okay, those are way too low.
First test drive, they are pointed at the ground.
You can't really see much. You can only see about 50 feet in front of you.
But they adjust really easily, so we're parked outside the shop now, and we're facing out to the woods. So we're gonna take the Allen wrench, loosen the screws, and then adjust them in real time out here to make sure they're exactly where we want them. And then we're gonna do take two, test drive, second round.
Yeah, let's do that. Do they look better?
Oh yeah.
Is that enough? Are they even now? That's hard without being on the wall. You don't want to go past it and have to come back. I think they're closer.
The truck is so high, it's tough to tell.
Yeah. You have an idea, but once we gotta get back on the road. See what it looks like. We are flying now, folks. Okay, this looks a lot better. You got a better angle. You can see the road clearly, but you're not blinding anybody. It should be perfect.
Yeah, that is way better.
Well, these are good. I think that's a good height.
That's all we have for you for this episode. We want to say a huge thank you to Triple R Lights. None of this would have been possible without them being one of our build sponsors. We're so grateful to them. We will leave all the links for everything we installed down in the description below, so go check those out.
We still have to wire this winch up, and we'll have that fully operational in an upcoming video. But thanks for watching, and until then, see you next time. I think it's bright enough. It's pretty bright. I don't think anyone's gonna want to camp with us because we're gonna be blowing them out.
Let's light this thing up like a Christmas